If you're applying to med school, chances are you may have to write on some secondary essay prompts. So today I wanted to give you a common secondary essay prompt and help you think through some ways that you might want to approach this document. First, hi, my name is Dr. Sarah Klebe and I'm an admissions expert at BeMo. So, secondary essay prompts are sent out by medical schools, usually at one of two stages. There are some universities who will send out secondary essay prompts to anyone who applies. So, if you submit your application and get a secondary essay prompt right away, chances are they send them out to all applicants. Other schools will reserve their secondary essay prompts for those applicants who've made it through sort of one stage of application review. But in any case, this is a really important document or set of documents that you really need to give a lot of care and concern to. The questions that are asked in secondary essay prompts are asked for a reason. That is to say, they're asking for specific information that the school wants to have from you, specific context or information on experiences that you've had, that they really factor heavily into consideration of your application. So it's important to bear in mind that these are sort of purpose-driven documents. They're not put out there just to give you another set of hoops to jump through or another task to put on your ever-expanding to-do list. They're asking these questions for a reason, and the questions that they select are also purposeful, right? They're asking these things because they want to know specifically about these things. So there are prompts that are specific to various schools, but there's also a lot of overlap in those prompts. So today I'm going to give you a secondary essay prompt from Mayo, but this same essay prompt or one very similar to it could be found in any number of different institutions. So the prompt for today is this: we are all unique in different ways. Explain how your personal diversity manifests in your personal and professional activities. So they've given you 500 words to write on this. 500 words isn't a ton of space. It's enough room to, give a good story, a good narrative, but it's not, a multi-page essay or anything like that. So it's manageable for you. It's manageable for them. It's enough space to get some information out there, but not enough space to really go deeply in depth into some issues. Now, some people sort of panic or freak out a little when they see the word diversity, thinking that it's this kind of PC code word or something like that. And I want to emphasize that that's absolutely not the case. I've written a blog on this. I'll post the link to it in the comments below the video here so that you can access that. Asking about diversity isn't a way to see if you fit into certain demographic boxes or things like that. Diversity is generally very widely defined in instances like this. And so they're not necessarily asking if you're, a member of a minority community or something like that, although that's absolutely an aspect of diversity. And if you have that experience and want to reflect on it, awesome, no problem. But, even if you're sort of a mainstream or middle of the road kind of candidate, you still have diverse experiences and diversity yourself. As it says, we're all unique and we're all unique in different ways. And so think about some of the things that make you you. That's what you reflect on in a prompt like this. There are all sorts of things that you do, that you are, that you value or hold in high regard that are specific to you. And even if you have similar experiences to other people in some ways, the ways that all of these things sort of come together in your own self-narrative is unique to you. No one has had exactly the kinds of experiences that you've had in exactly the same ways that you've had. So again, if you are part of a marginalized community or something like that, you can absolutely absolutely draw on that in thinking through diversity. If you think about your own cultural beliefs, whether these are minority or majority, those are unique aspects of your own sort of identity and experience in the world. So if there are aspects of your own culture that are meaningful to you and that you'd like to express as meaningful to you, you can certainly talk about that. If you're part of various, religious or spiritual communities, and that means something to you, you can reflect on that if you want. But you can also, think about the ways in which common activities come together in unique ways in your own life. If you are, part of a sports team and the connections that you've made there have given you insights into the community around you, or given you opportunities to engage and interact with others, either in your community or outside of your own sort of sphere of activity, that could be a diverse experience. If you are into arts and music and things like that, those are aspects of your own diversity. All of these little things that make up who we are contribute to our own sort of uniqueness. What's most important is how you reflect on the meaning of those activities, of those experiences, of that identity that you hold. So you don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about the what. What you want to focus more on is the why, right? Why are these things valuable to you? Of all the various things that make up who you are, why have you chosen XYZ activities to single out and talk about in this prompt? And, this is sort of, I'm going to say probably a common thread that's going to come through all of these videos on secondary essays, and that reflect on our statements on personal essays as well. Talking about the why, or what I sort of call the so what of your experiences, is usually the most important aspect. Yes, having a wide number of different kinds of experiences in your own life and in your education and experience with the field of medicine so far, that's important. But what you do with those activities, experiences, etc., is just as important. Not everyone has access to a wide variety of different kinds of activities, and those people aren't necessarily, or shouldn't necessarily be, excluded from pursuing medicine as a career if they have, the academics and the personal qualities and things like that necessary to succeed in the field. So don't think that this is about sort of displaying the fact that you've had this wide number of experiences, or feel like you can't contribute meaningfully if your experience set is more narrow. Thinking through how these reflect on those key qualities and core competencies central to the field and practice of medicine is what's central. So thinking about how you developed cultural competence in working with people from different backgrounds through the variety of activities you've experienced, that's a great way to reflect on this. Thinking about things that you've pursued that have challenged you and forced you to become resilient and adaptable, that's worthwhile in terms of reflection. Areas where you can demonstrate your own capacity for improvement, or your desire to serve others, or your own sense of ethical responsibility, all great things to reflect on. If you've engaged in teamwork, collaborating with others, another great value. Now, you don't want to try to reflect on every single one of these in a 500-word essay. Obviously, that's too much. You want to focus on quality over quantity. So don't use this as a space to, list the 40 different activities that you've participated in, or all of those things, every single one of those things that make you who you are. No, prioritize, narrow things down, pick a few things that really speak to your core as you want to demonstrate it to the admissions committee, and those things that really reflect not just yourself, but your best self. That's, I think, the key here. When you're putting these application materials together, when you're going through your original application, secondary application, even into your interviews, MMI, any of that, you want to focus on thinking about who you are at your best, who you are now and who you want to be, who you strive to be, and use those activities that most effectively demonstrate that. And then again, show why these things demonstrate that. So that is my advice in replying to this particular statement, asking about your own personal diversity. Again, if you think that diversity refers to some kind of PC code word, get rid of that idea right away. It's only going to hold you back, and it's a big misunderstanding of what it is they're actually asking for and what's often asked for in statements and questions on diversity. Instead, focus on those things that make you who you are. Focus on who you want to be, who your best self is, and how you can most effectively present that to the admissions committee. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful. If so, please do go ahead, like it, share it with a friend who might benefit from it. Be sure to follow us on whatever social media platform you're on right now. If you'd like us to help you, click the link that should appear either above or below this video to see our programs and schedule your free initial consultation. We'll set you up with one of our admissions experts to answer any questions you might have and get you started on your preparations. We have programs to suit any of your needs, and we're always happy to work with you to determine which plan is going to support you and your goals most effectively. As ever, thank you so very much for your time. Take good care, and I'll see you next time.